I'll do that. I should probably actually share my screen with you all because that helps. There we go. There. A window. That window. Share. Okay. Hopefully you're seeing lesson plan stuff. Yeah. Couple of tiny. No, I get one big head shake. You're not seeing a couple of head nods. So, oh, now it's. Maybe it's taking a while to get to everybody. You see the lesson plan now? Okay. There's one head shake before, so I wanted to make sure we were all there. Okay. General routine is what it was, is what it will be. The things to focus on here today. Um, the I think I have it set up so that all of our class sessions are in the Google Calendar now. So there were a few folks that were using Google Calendar to find them, and they weren't showing up. I think I have it so they show up in Google Calendar now. I apologize if they weren't there before. If it's not there now and you check in Google Calendar and you don't see this live session there, let me know and I'll swear and throw things, and that won't solve anything, but I'll feel better. So, hey, there's that. Then let's see. For the electric circuit group quiz, what I would like to do is actually meet with each group so we can just talk through the quiz and we'll kind of correct the group quiz together. I know that might not be the most comforting thought. Sorry, I'll be gentle. Um, but I think that's probably, in my mind, the best way to make sure we're ready for the test. Because the test, remember, can replace your quiz grade if the quiz didn't go so well. And with our glorious crunch a semester into a quarter schedule, then the test is actually going to be coming up pretty darn quick. So um, if we can review the group quiz, like person to person or person to group, I think that would be helpful to make sure you're in a good spot for when the test comes. This link in the Google Classroom thing, if you click on that, it should show appointment slots that are available. So then you can go through and click on any of these. You see in the calendar thing now, yeah? Yeah. So any of these like silvery things, you can click on those and those are appointments that are available. So if you say you want to get schedule a meeting for this afternoon, they're just scheduled in 15-minute increments from 1:45 to 2 o'clock. We can either go through checkpoints, review the quiz, just ask questions, whatever works. So you can schedule those at times that align with your open spots to kind of get things done. You hit save and it sends me an email saying you want to do that. And I believe it saves that in your calendar as well. When I first did this early in the year, when I was creating them, it allowed me to attach a Google Meet video thing to it at the creation of the time appointments. It's not letting me do that now, so we'll create an appointment, and then as soon as I see the appointment, I'll make it a Google Meet thing after that. That's apparently just what I need to do. All right. Then hopefully you saw that you have new groups. I started to kind of randomize names, and then I decided, hey, I'll go with bands from Minnesota. What a deal. You're welcome. So um, Prince, Husker Du, Honey Dogs, Gear Daddies, The Time. There you are. If you don't like your band, then there's something wrong with you, just so you know. Everybody has their own personality flaws. I'm just saying, you might need to work on something. Let's see. No. Yeah. So get together with the people in your group and chat and find some time where you guys can discuss and review some of these things. We really do need to be building these circuits and checking things out. One of the things that I need to emphasize that when we're going through section 3, it does ask you more often now to make predictions about what you think will happen when you make these changes to the circuit or things like that. Um, Two things about those predictions. One, uh, they are important. We have a tendency to kind of somebody tells us something, or we see something, and we're like, "Oh, that makes sense," and we just kind of falsely sometimes believe that we always knew that, and then we just falsely believe that our intuition will give us correct answers on these things. If we make a prediction first, um, and we kind of have some sort of level of commitment or engagement with that, and then our prediction is right or wrong, the correct observation, what we observe to happen after making that prediction, really is anchored into our minds and thoughts a little bit more solidly, and we're less likely to just give a reflexive answer. We're more likely to go, "Oh, I thought it was going to be this. It was that. I need to remember it was that." But just things stick a little bit better in our brains if we make those predictions first. If we get them right, it feels good. If we get them wrong, it doesn't feel so great. But we have to let go of that not feeling so great. If we get a prediction wrong, we get a prediction wrong. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing, as Gary Johnson used to say. So if you get a prediction wrong, it's not a big deal. Just move on. So those are your groups moving forward. We did have one person, as some of you might notice, one person decided to go with the PSEO class instead of this. Bummer, but got to do what's right for you. So we're down one person from where we were before. So da-da-da. Schedule an appointment to review the quiz. I'm also thinking we'll maybe schedule appointments to go through some checkpoints. I'm going to try to schedule appointments with small groups so we can go through some of the checkpoints. I'm not so sure that the Google Forms are really hitting things home as much as I would hope. So I want to make sure that I'm setting you up for success on the next test and what's expected for answers, things like that. So I'd really like to check in with some of the small groups to schedule checkpoints and have a conversation and make sure um, uh, we know where things are going. Questions on anything there? No? Oh, I guess I didn't open this up. I can open it up to questions. You're supposed to be able to. Have you guys used the question thingy? Yeah, a couple of head nods. Um, so in Google Meet, I can turn on Q&A, and then that right now questions are allowed. There's supposed to be, like, if you want to ask a question, kind of like over on the right-hand side where the chat and that stuff is. At least for me, that's where it is. On the right-hand side, there should be a spot where you can ask a question, and there's supposed to be a little checkbox to make it anonymous. So if you have a question that you don't want to like tell the world, "Hey, I'm on section 2.3 and I don't get this," but it's a question that you have, you can ask this question about 2.3 and then check the anonymous box. And then it's supposed to be a question that nobody knows you asked. Anybody feel like trying that out? You can ask anything you want. Vikings trivia. Ask a question if you got it. And then in a second, we'll take a look at some of the stuff in chapter, or pardon me, not chapter, but in section 3.1. Me talking right now is just taking up time to allow you to ask a question. If you have a question to ask, now's the time for questions. I can't even tell if y'all are typing. 3.5 was 3.5 really hard to set up? Y'all agree? Couple of head nods. How many folks didn't quite get to 3.5 just yet? Yeah. So 3.5, I think, is a bit challenging to set up, and the person that asked that question, I think, is the first one to get there. So, yeah, way to lead the charge, kid. um, Let's see. I need to pull up the book to see exactly what it is. And then there are some sections here. Is 3.5. There's one that has like 6 bulbs, and yeah, and I ran out of bulbs. So some of you might not have enough bulbs. So what you're gonna probably have to do is set them up in chunks. And so we'll take a look at that right here. Thanks for asking the question. I appreciate it because that was something I intended to discuss, but I forgot to put in my notes. Um, so can you see my electric circuit section 3 file? Yeah, getting a couple of head nods. Thank y'all. So going through, scroll now, computer. La-da-da. Tiptoe through the tulips. Do you guys know Tiny Tim? Yeah. I don't remember like any of the words except tiptoe through the tulips. Turns out that's the name of the song. You're welcome. I'm a giver. Scrolling. Oh, good Lord. 3.6 is going to be a bit of a bugger too. I hope. Do you guys all have 5 bulbs? Either head nods or the no head movement at all, because you probably have no idea if you have 5 bulbs or not. That's understandable. Um, Hopefully you have 5 bulbs because 3.6 is kind of a big deal. And good Lord, here we're getting there. Whoop. Okay, so 3.5. Now you can see this, and I'll do full screen. That might be give me the little bit of flexibility I so desire. Good Lord, here we go. Okay, so to start off with 3.5, we go from just one bulb like this to these 3. I believe we all have enough bulbs to do this 3.5A section. So everybody should be able to do this. Um, the next part we can start to see down here with this circuit. That's the spot where I don't think you guys have enough bulbs. Um, and what we're going to have to do with that part uh, is really just um, do it kind of in sections. There, it asks when you check for the blanks, like where it's asking you to fill in the blanks, it'll say, "Hey, is there a significant change in the brightness of the single bulb, like bulb A, or in the 2 bulb branch when we add this third one?" So I think what you will probably have to do is first just set up ABC, and then after setting up just ABC, you might need to set up A and DEF or BC and DEF. Does that make sense? Or, this is probably as good a time as any to show you you've all connected wires and bulbs. You've all got bulbs to light. Yeah, good. Um, so this is probably as good a time as any to show you the um, circuit construction kit. There are a few different versions of this. This is all now just a simulation, and that ends up helping. Oh, yep, and that's what I just used. Somebody just posted that they used this thing, and that's probably the way to go when you start running out of stuff. Um, so this circuit construction kit, I'll share a link in Google Classroom as well. Once we start running out of wires and things, this is the way to go. Come on. Here we go. So you can just start to build circuits and things here. The thing that it's not possible to build a circuit, or at least I'm not aware of it being of the ability to build a circuit and save it and then use that same one again later. So I'm going here, clicking lab, and then you can drag things out and connect them. I am going to turn showing current off because that's going to probably make you answer things differently. So then you can just kind of go through and connect things uh, as you need to. If the battery starts on fire, then that's not a good circuit. So you can, using this thing, connect stuff up as however you need it for the um, 3.5 stuff. Does that make sense, folks? Head nods. Um, and this, the folks that made this is University of Colorado or Colorado University. I think it's University of Colorado, but it's physics department at a college in Colorado that did this all up. So it's all pretty accurate with what we would expect to happen and those sorts of things. Other questions on how these things are going or what to be doing? No questions? Is everybody done with 3.1? Some head nods and some nothings. And so nothings in the classroom, that's the like, I'm just not going to look at you and that will, I'm not here. So I'm hoping we're done with 3.1. So 3.1 is starting to talk about the indicator bulbs. Um, So here it says we have bulb A directly connected to the battery. Here, bulb A is again directly connected to the battery. There's a wire there, but it's like there's nothing in between them that does stuff. There are. So bulb A is an indicator bulb. So the question for you all, and I don't know how to say this. If I ask a question, I don't know how to use the polling stuff to have you anonymously answer by typing stuff in. So I'm going to ask you a question and I'm going to ask you to answer using Google Meet's question. So answer like you're asking a question, but check the little anonymous box. Yeah. Does that make sense to you? I get one head nod and some blank stares. So in the Google meeting, there should be like, you should be able to ask a question. And you should be able to, when you ask a question, click check anonymous. So the question for you all that you will answer by asking a question there. In the text, they call bulb A an indicator bulb. Why is bulb A an indicator bulb? Like in this circuit? Come on, highlight that circuit. It won't. Um, this circuit with bulb A and B. Why is bulb A? Oh, it doesn't seem like there is a box to check for anonymous. Do you guys have that? Do you guys have an anonymous box where you ask a question? No. Sons of, I got that directly from the support.google.com dash son of a biscuit brothers crap. Well, that was my big go-to for today. I'll just have you guys answer questions anonymously. Bugger. All right. Okay. So how do we do that with anonymousness? Um, you can email me. That's annoying, isn't it, for you all? I would think. Um, and then I'd get a bunch of emails. So we'll do it this way. Think to yourself. I don't know how else to do this. Think to yourself, or if you have this, or open up this document and you can be prepared to type your answer in there. Um, we will consider bulb A to be a brightness, to be our indicator bulb. How does the brightness, that's a different question that I'm trying to get us to. Yes. Okay, so we'll just go with this way. Bulb A is an indicator bulb. It indicates the flow. It's supposed to indicate the flow through the battery. Yeah. So if we have bulb A connected directly to the battery and there's no splits, right? So anything that flows through the battery then also flows through this wire, then also flows through this switch, then also flows through bulb A. So there are no branches, no splits, no nothing. So everything that flows through the battery must also flow through bulb A. Does that make sense? Okay. And by saying that everything that flows through the battery must flow through bulb A, then however bright bulb A is, that is an indication of the flow through bulb A. That's also an indication of the flow through the battery. So bulb A can indicate the flow through both bulb A and everything before it to the battery, specifically because there are no splits, because it's all on one path, bulb A to the battery. Everything that flows through the battery flows through bulb A. So bulb A indicates not just the flow through bulb A also indicates the flow through the battery. Is that okay? All right, so we'll try it that way. And then when we get to uh, these. So part C, we go through and we add bulb B, and then we also add bulb C. So in this spot here and in this spot here, you should be able to type some responses in. How does the brightness of bulb A change, if at all, when we added bulb B? And then we could do here, do you expect the brightness to bulb A to change when we add bulb C? So up here, we'd say, hey, we add bulb B. This is what we observe happening. Yeah. Did you guys get this part done already or no? Couple of head nods, couple of head shakes. That's legit. Here, so we'll do it like this. Let's see. Clicky, splitty, clicky, split, zoop, bloop, bloop. Mm, mm. Okay, so there's just plain old bulb A. Look at how bright bulb A is. Ooh, ah, oh, yeah. You okay there? Now we'll add bulb B. Let's see. Clicky, split. We add bulb B. Brighter or less bright? Less bright. You're right. I'm just gonna right. I mean, you just looked at lines coming out. So bulb A is now less bright. So bulb A is dimmer. So what happened to the flow through bulb A when we added bulb B? Increase, decrease, same. Up, down, even, down. Yeah. So then here we'd be able to say, hey, we saw, well, when we added bulb A became more dim, so the flow through bulb A and B must be less than it was before. And now for part C, they're asking us to make that prediction. So when we add bulb C, what would we predict would happen? So we just type that out there. We close the switch and we make that observation. So making sure that we put those predictions in, because that a little bit of a commitment to that, so we have something to go back and check and refer to. Has a significant impact on if we actually remember and learn this stuff. Um, then this question, do you think it's possible for a bulb to have current through it, but be too dimly lit for you to see? That's a pretty important checkpoint sort of a thing. So the part of a bulb that glows is really just a really thin wire. Yeah. So it's electrical wire that has flow going through it. And if for a bulb, it glows because that ends up getting hot. And um, because it's hot, it glows, and we see that. Um, I don't want to do all of these and just answer them for y'all. So we need to go through and have those done. So if I just talk the answers out myself without having you guys answer stuff, that's not terribly useful, honestly. I know for you it would feel great to just check stuff off the list, but it ends up oftentimes not sticking. So we'll go through and I'll come up with a different way to do checkpoints that in small groups where we can go through and talk this out. Um, I'm hoping that today, by the end of, well, I'm hoping that we're very soon done through 3.6, and it might be time to start using the PhET simulation if you haven't. I'll include that link here now. And I would, I'm going to try to contact you guys to schedule meetings with the groups for your quizzes and to also with your old groups for your quizzes and with your new groups for the checkpoints. So be aware that I'm going to be sending you notes through either through Google Meets or through email to set those appointments up. There are a bunch of time slots available, and we're just going to go through and do them. Questions you guys have on anything right now? All right. Um, so that's what I got for you. Um, remember the warm up for Unit 3 is out there. That's supposed to be just an individual deal where you put down some thoughts as to what you think might be going on. If you get stuff, if what you have isn't quite right, that's no big deal. That's all I got for you. Be prepared to either schedule a meeting with me or respond to the message I send out to you. And I'll stay on here if you have questions you can ask. If you want to just hang up, you can hang up. There you go.